Welcome to CSE MAINS by Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative runs in coordination with our website, which is rajisacademy.com. On our website, in the Mains Answer Writing section, this is where we coordinate Seize the Mains. Every day, whenever we discuss a question and a model answer, we upload it simultaneously to our website as well. So after you watch this discussion regarding guidance for answer writing for UPSC and State Civil Services mains examination, I highly recommend that you click on the link in the description that will take you to our website. Check out all the model answers and the sample questions that have been uploaded with regards to your mains preparation there. They are very, very important for all of you who are sitting for your next civil services attempt. All these questions have been taken from current affairs and are of high relevance for your exam. Go through the model answers and try to write your own answer. This is not just, a one-way initiative. What you can do is write your own answer, try to write your own sample answer and post it on the website in the comment section under each question. When you post it there on the website, we get an update here, and in the next 48 hours, our team evaluates those answers and responds back to you with their feedback again in the comment section. And if you join this initiative, if you're regular with answer writing on our website with us, you will see tremendous improvement. There have been many students who wrote answers with us for a few months and they saw so much improvement that they did not feel the need to, write more and more answers, and they have seen tremendous improvement there. And, drastic changes have been seen. Sometimes we get answers where we cannot suggest any kind of improvements. So that's the level of change. So join this initiative. Let's begin with today's topic, which is counter terrorism. So regarding counter terrorism, obviously United Nations Security Council meet has been there. There have been many conferences with regards to counter terrorism. Specifically with regards to counter-terrorism or terrorism chaired by India. So question has been framed, a very general question, ages-old question, but with a little spice of current affairs in that. So let's see what is the question. What are the issues associated with counter-terrorism initiatives at the global level? Put some light on the global counter-terrorism strategy, GCTS, in this regard. Answer in 250 words. So see, if you look at the first part of the question, the challenges associated with terrorism and challenges associated with counter-terrorism initiatives, they can be overlapping. The content can be overlapping there. In the introduction, talk about whatever is currently going on with regards to terrorism. Obviously, you cannot define terrorism because there is no universal definition of that. But whatever is going with regards to terrorism in the current affairs, talk about it, give some data, and then proceed with your body paragraph where you will talk about issues associated with counter-terrorism at global level, or the challenges associated with counter-terrorism at global level. So the first one is the threat of terrorism. Obviously, we start on a very soft note. Introductions to heavy topics like these, we talk about, what implications do such processes or do such acts have. So the first point here in your introduction would be about implication of terrorism. The threat of terrorism is grave and universal, and terrorism in one part of the world seriously impacts peace and security in other parts of the globe. So here you have established that basically nobody can stay aloof from the impacts of terrorism. Implications have to be, implications have to be received by all of the mankind, the entire globe. So this is a very strong statement, a very relativistic statement that you're writing there. Moving on, talk about some terrorist outfits which have caused chaos in the recent past. So the threats posed by Islamic State in Iraq, Levant, Khorasan, Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, and terrorist groups sheltering in Afghanistan has increased following the takeover of Kabul by the Taliban in August 2021. So that is something from current affairs. And some terrorist attacks from the recent past, or terrorist outfits who have been active in the recent past, have been highlighted here. So your answer, your introduction does not, or the beginning of your answer does not get a very slow vibe to it. There is data, there are examples, and it poses challenges for the entire world because of the upcoming of the next frontier. See, this is a term, definitely use this in your answer. What is the next frontier? That is use of emerging technologies such as drones and virtual currency by terrorists. So the challenges are bigger and graver, and tougher than earlier because of the upcoming of next frontier. We could use this term very well in our body paragraph also, but sometimes it is very good that if you flaunt some information in the introduction itself, especially some good terms, some data, statistics, any new terms that you know of. See, in newspapers, recently through the newspapers we discussed the term fourth branch institutions. Now we are discussing next frontier. So these small terms, they will help you write really intelligent answers in mains. The first thing that when it comes to mains that we need to address is that your answer needs to have a lot of diversity. All aspects should be covered, more and more sides of information that should be covered. Secondly is the presentation, how intelligently you present what you know. So quoted statements, any new terms, they play a great role there. Moving on to the linkage point, the following are the issues associated with counter-terrorism initiatives at the global level. First of all, counter-terrorism can only happen if you define terrorism. There is no universally accepted definition of terrorism as of now. So, there are no universally accepted definitions for what constitutes terrorism. This makes it hard to classify a particular activity as a terrorist activity, which provides terrorists with an edge and allows some countries to remain silent and veto any action at global institutions. Definitely we are targeting, or this is targeted towards China, the veto powers there. The second issue or the second challenge associated with this is that there are new technologies which terrorists are actually using, especially with the help of dark web. The platforms which they have to raise their propaganda, to spread their propaganda is immense. So the internet and especially the dark web provides a relatively unregulated and unrestricted place where terrorists can craft and disseminate propaganda through seemingly limitless numbers of websites and social media platforms, tailoring their pitch so as to target thousands of potential new recruits to join their organization and further their cause. Third one is there are new forms of terrorist funding emerging, your crowdfunding platforms, cryptocurrency, and these platforms, this form of funding, it is making it very hard for the counter-terrorist initiatives to actually find the origin and destination of terrorist funding. The fourth one is the use of UAVs for the surveillance of targets, trafficking in drugs and arms, and the launching of terrorist attacks on critical infrastructure and public places have increased. These are the places, or your critical infrastructure is the basic necessity for counter-terrorism activities, and since attacks have been launched on these, that's why these people who are actually present for counter-terrorism initiatives, they're actually engrossed most of the time in tackling these attacks rather than actually finding terrorists. So evolving methods of terrorism, such as evolving methods of terrorism is one of the best points here, because when something that has negative impacts on society or mankind at large, it has a slow pace of evolution, then you can devise solutions. For example, there is a problem that stays in for 10 years and it does not change within a span of 10 years. Then those 10 years can be given to devise solutions there. But if a problem is fast evolving, for example, in the case of viruses also, if a virus is fast replicating, if it is changing its design or from one type to another type, then it becomes very hard to develop a medicine or a vaccine for that. So similarly is the case with terrorism. The methods that are employed by terrorists, they were earlier direct attacks. Now they're using cyber terrorism, bioterrorism is there. They can, they have been launching pest attacks to impact the food security of a country. Then all of this, it makes it difficult for anti-terror terror agencies to deal with these issues. And finally, state support for financing terror. Counter-terrorist initiatives on one hand, and they stand in opposition to some states or some nations which actually fund terror and let terror grow and survive on their own soil. So state support for financing terror, which gives safe haven for terrorism to breed, and it acts as a safety wall for them, not valve, but acts as a safety wall. The state itself protects these terrorists. So that these are the 6 broad issues that are there with the counter-terrorist initiatives as of now. Now moving on to the second part, that is what is the United Nations Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, GCTS. We need to put some light on it. That means you'll have to explain it a bit. So UN Global Counter Terrorism Strategy, it is a unique global instrument to enhance national, regional and international efforts to counter terrorism, basically to counter terrorism at all levels. And this information that is directly from their website. So in case you do not know about this initiative, this strategy, then you can definitely visit UN Global Counter Terrorism Strategy. They have a separate website for it. So through its adoption by consensus that happened in 2006, all UN member states agreed the first time to a common strategic and operational approach to fighting terrorism. But what the problem is that you have not been able to define terrorism. Plus, whenever there is an opportunity when you can take action against some terrorists, these terrorists are protected and a lot of vetoes happen in Security Council itself. So the strategy does not only send a clear message that terrorism is unacceptable in all its forms and manifestations, but it also resolves to take practical steps. How does it take? We'll see the 4 steps, 4 objectives that are there. Individually, collectively, to prevent and combat terrorism. Those practical steps, they include a wide array of measures ranging from strengthening state capacity, number 1, especially in states like Afghanistan or states which are dealing with the side effects of terrorism and are not in a position to fight against it. To counter terrorist threats, to better coordinating UN systems counter terrorism activities. So at the individual level, when it comes to just one nation, and at the collective level also, both initiatives go hand in hand. Next one is how it operates, or what are the 4 main pillars. The first pillar is addressing the conditions conducive to the spread of terrorism. So, addressing the root cause of it, that is the main pillar, that is the first main pillar that they try to address. Second one is measures to prevent and combat terrorism, that happens both at individual and collective level. The third one is measures to build states' capacity to prevent and combat terrorism, to strengthen the role of United Nations system in that regard. This follows from the second pillar itself. And the fourth one is measures to ensure respect for human rights for all and the rule of law as the fundamental basis for the fight against terrorism. Now, since you do not have a definition for terrorism, plus there is a lot of state-sponsored terrorism that is happening all around the globe, and India is also at the receiving end of it, especially. And then there are fundamental reasons. Fundamentalism is one of the reasons behind terrorist attacks, especially in the global south, and India falls in global south. So yes, there are many types and many sorts of challenges, and all these countries come together under this strategy to deal with it. So yes, pillars are fine, but we need to move towards a very well renewed approach to tackle terrorism, to make our counter terrorism initiatives better than before. So we'll write a way forward here that the threat of terrorism is transnational. This is something that we wrote in introduction as well, but we paraphrased it now. So terrorist actors and the supporters, facilitators and financiers collaborate while remaining in different jurisdictions to organize acts anywhere in the world. So that's why it becomes very tough to handle them. A transnational threat can be defeated only by the collective efforts of all state members of the United Nations. And not only this, if some country is actually very much protected from terrorist attacks, they should definitely see terrorism as a global problem. And coming together, collective efforts, that's the only solution that we have. Existing and emerging threats call for a existing and emerging. This is something, existing threats are already there. Existing and emerging, use these terms simultaneously, because emerging threats is what we talked about in our body paragraph. So they call for a renewed collective approach to terrorism, condemning all forms of terrorism, irrespective of the reasons behind motivation of terrorist acts, can serve as a good starting point. Now, if you know the recent conference that was chaired by India with regards to counter-terrorist initiatives, India straight away talked about that reason behind terrorist attack cannot be used to justify a terrorist attack. So, this is a line that can, support your answer. You can definitely quote the recent meeting or the recent statements by External Affairs Minister of India. You can definitely quote him there. Do not write names, write the term for Minister of External Affairs. You can definitely quote him that we need to move ahead from getting into the details of reasons of terrorism and to combating terrorism, fighting against terrorism on a global level together, no matter if any country is facing it, bearing the brunt of it or not. So yes, that's your full answer for the day. The entire answer has been uploaded on our website rajisacademy.com. Visit the website, check the mains answer writing section for question 149 for today. Read out this full model answer. It will help you immensely in understanding this topic and moving ahead with your preparation. It also helps us to retain better when we prepare for mains simultaneously with prelims. So I think 30 minutes or 40 minutes a day, even if you are dealing with your prelims preparation, gearing up for prelims since the annual year is changing, so definitely do that. But do not miss out on your mains preparation, because if you miss out, it would impact your confidence levels to some extent in your prelims preparation as well. So at least for next 2-3 months, continue with daily answer writing with us, at least one answer a day. That is very much needed. Or at least continue to read the model answers. If you're not in a position to write answers, go to the website, read the model answer, watch these videos. If you've missed out on previous ones, watch them as well. Also, our channel has a lot of initiatives that can benefit you in your preparation. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow with another Seize the Mains discussion, another Seize the Mains question and answer at 9 p.m. All the best. Keep working hard.